Hollywood actors are paid to bring scripts to life, but sometimes they draw the line. From refusing nude scenes and intimate moments to walking off set entirely, these stars stood their ground and forced filmmakers to find creative solutions. Here are 10 actors who refused to film certain scenes. Keanu Reeves was asked to help create a powerful emotional scene, but he refused to do it. While filming Bram Stoker's Dracula, director Francis Ford Coppola reportedly tried to make Winona Ryder cry by shouting insults at her from behind the camera. He then encouraged other cast members to join in and yell hurtful things as well. According to Ryder, Reeves would not participate. Anthony Hopkins also refused. The tactic failed to get the reaction Coppola wanted, but the experience helped strengthen a friendship between Ryder and Reeves that would last for decades. Denzel Washington starred opposite Julia Roberts in The Pelican Brief, and many viewers expected their characters to become romantically involved. The story brought the two characters close together, making the absence of a kiss stand out even more. According to Roberts, that wasn't an accident. Washington reportedly requested that romantic scenes between the characters be removed from the script. He later explained that he avoided kissing white women in films because he did not want to alienate what he described as his core audience. As a result, the relationship remained platonic, and the romance that some viewers expected never appeared on screen. Julia Roberts and Nick Nolte played a romantic pair in I Love Trouble, but behind the scenes, they reportedly couldn't stand being around each other. The tension became so intense that the two actors allegedly stopped filming scenes together altogether. Instead, stand-ins were used so production could continue. Rumors claimed Roberts disliked Nolte's behavior on set, while Nolte reportedly became frustrated with Roberts as well. Even after the movie was finished, the feud didn't fade away. Years later, both actors were still publicly criticizing each other, making this one of Hollywood's most famous cases of co-stars refusing to work side by side. Dwayne Johnson and Vin Diesel starred in the same Fast and Furious movie, but according to Johnson, they never actually filmed a scene together. During production of The Fate of the Furious, tensions between the two actors reportedly became so severe that working together was no longer possible. Reports claimed the atmosphere on set made certain scenes difficult to shoot, and Johnson later confirmed that his scenes involving Diesel were created through post-production techniques rather than shared filming. Even though their characters appeared in the same movie, Johnson said they were never in any scenes together, making it one of the most unusual workarounds in the franchise's history. Dwayne Johnson refused to accept a heartbreaking ending for Rampage. When he first read the script, he discovered that George, the giant albino ape and closest companion to his character, was supposed to die at the end of the movie. Filmmakers argued that George's death would be heroic, but Johnson wasn't convinced. He believed audiences came to his movies expecting to leave feeling good, not devastated. The disagreement stretched on for about 2 months, as Johnson, producers, and studio executives debated the ending. Throughout the discussions, Johnson remained firm and refused to back down until a compromise was reached that allowed George's fate to be changed. Jim Carrey refused to film what the studio thought was the perfect happy ending. In Dumb and Dumber, Lloyd and Harry are offered the opportunity of a lifetime when a bus full of bikini-clad women invites them to join the tour as oil boys. The original script had the two friends getting on the bus, giving the movie a more traditional ending. But Carrey strongly objected. He believed Lloyd was simply too clueless to recognize such an obvious opportunity. Backing director Peter Farrelly's vision, Carrey refused to film the scene as written, insisting that Lloyd stay true to his character and let the bus drive away. Natalie Portman was completely on board with the wild comedy of Your Highness, until one scene required her to jump into freezing water. In the film, Portman's character Isabel was supposed to leap into a lake completely naked. While she embraced the movie's outrageous humor and had no problem joining in with the cast's antics, she refused to film that particular moment herself. The reason wasn't the nudity, it was the temperature of the water. Portman later explained that the lake was extremely cold, so a body double stepped in to handle the dive while Portman appeared in the other parts of the sequence. Ralph Fiennes nearly fought one of the biggest twists in James Bond history. While working on Spectre, director Sam Mendes reportedly had an idea that would have completely changed the role of M. The plan was to reveal that M was actually Blofeld, the criminal mastermind behind the story. Fiennes immediately pushed back. He didn't want to play M only to have the character turned into a villain, and argued that M should never be the bad guy. The disagreement led to intense discussions between the actor and director before they ultimately agreed to abandon the twist and keep M on Bond's side. Emily Blunt reached a point during Sicario where a planned scene simply wasn't happening. The suspense film originally included a scene that called for Blunt's character to appear topless, and it was written directly into the script. But when filming approached, Blunt decided against it. She later explained that the scene was removed because she didn't agree with it. The change wasn't made after a big production battle either. According to Blunt, co-star Benicio del Toro supported the decision and agreed that the scene wasn't necessary. As a result, the moment was cut, and the film moved forward without it. Ben Affleck brought an entire movie production to a standstill over a baseball cap. While filming Gone Girl, director David Fincher wanted Affleck's character to wear a New York Yankees cap during an airport scene. But Affleck, a devoted Boston Red Sox fan from Massachusetts, refused. He told Fincher that he simply could not wear a Yankees hat and would not film the scene if that was the plan. The disagreement wasn't resolved quickly either. According to Fincher, the dispute became so significant that production was shut down for 4 days before the issue could be worked out. Robin Williams refused to let Mrs. Doubtfire end with a fairy tale reunion. In the original script, Daniel and Miranda were supposed to get back together at the end, reuniting the family after all the chaos of the story. Williams strongly disagreed with that direction. Alongside director Chris Columbus, he argued that the ending wasn't realistic and could give children false hope that separated parents would always reunite. The two pushed back against the idea and fought to keep the story grounded. Eventually, the studio and filmmakers relented, leading to the more realistic ending where Daniel and Miranda remain apart while sharing responsibility for their children. Reese Witherspoon and Vince Vaughn were supposed to play a couple in 4 Christmases, but behind the scenes, things reportedly became so tense that a planned intimate scene never happened. The two actors had very different approaches to making movies. Witherspoon preferred rehearsing and blocking scenes, while Vaughn favored improvisation. According to reports, the working relationship grew increasingly strained during production. At one point, Witherspoon reportedly pushed back against filming a sex scene with Vaughn. Her objection ultimately prevailed, and the scene was removed from the movie entirely. The film made it to theaters, but that particular moment never made it in front of the cameras. Will Smith took on a challenging dramatic role early in his movie career, but one scene never happened the way it was originally written. In 6 Degrees of Separation, Smith played a gay character who was supposed to share a passionate kiss with Anthony Michael Hall's character. According to the story, Smith was uncomfortable filming the kiss and sought advice before production. When it came time to shoot the scene, a workaround was used. The moment was filmed from behind, allowing Smith to avoid actually kissing his co-star on camera while still completing the scene for the movie. Samuel L. Jackson has faced killer snakes, dinosaurs, and countless dangerous situations on screen, but there's one type of scene he's never been eager to film. Despite a career filled with bold and fearless performances, Jackson has largely avoided nude scenes. He explained that it wasn't modesty holding him back, but a lack of confidence about appearing nude on camera. He also described filming intimate scenes as extremely awkward, requiring discussions about physical boundaries before shooting. Because of that discomfort, Jackson has only agreed to strip down a handful of times during his long career, making nude scenes one of the few things he preferred to avoid. Robert Downey Jr. changed a moment that ended up becoming one of Marvel's most memorable jokes. Near the end of The Avengers, Iron Man wakes up after helping save New York and was originally supposed to say a simple line, "What's next?" But Downey wasn't satisfied with it. Instead of filming the scene as written, he worked with director Joss Whedon to come up with something different. The result was Iron Man suggesting that the team visit a nearby shawarma restaurant.
You ever tried shawarma? There's a shawarma joint about 2 blocks from here. I don't know what it is, but I want to try it.
The joke landed so well that it inspired an entire post-credits scene showing the Avengers quietly eating shawarma together. Isla Fisher had a strict rule while filming Wedding Crashers. No nude scenes, no exceptions. Even though the comedy became famous for its outrageous moments, Fisher refused to appear nude herself. Instead, multiple body doubles were brought in to handle different shots. One stood in for a hand scene, another for a breast shot, and another for a butt shot. Fisher believed that once audiences saw a character in a sexual way, it could change how they viewed the comedy. To keep Gloria funny, she pushed her performance even further, making the character more extreme to maintain the laughs. Morgan Freeman helped change the ending of one of the most beloved movies ever made. In The Shawshank Redemption, the final scene shows Red finally reuniting with Andy on a beach after years of separation. But that wasn't exactly how the script originally ended. Writer-director Frank Darabont had planned for Red to blow Andy's old harmonica before the reunion. Freeman strongly disliked the idea, believing it was unnecessary and overly sentimental. Rather than film it, he refused. After discussing it with Darabont, the scene was changed, resulting in the simpler beach reunion that audiences ultimately saw on screen. Emma Watson was filming a small cameo in This Is the End when something happened that reportedly made her leave the set entirely. In the movie, Watson played an exaggerated version of herself alongside the film's star-studded cast. According to an extras account, a scene involved Channing Tatum making a surprise appearance while wearing only a thong and performing in front of her. The account claimed Watson walked off during filming, and production wrapped shortly afterward. James Franco later spoke about an actress with a smaller role leaving in the middle of a scene because what was happening around her was, in his words, too extreme. Anna Kendrick stopped a pitch-perfect storyline before it ever reached the screen. While developing the movie, the plan was for Baker to have a romance with a music executive who wanted her to sign with his label. Kendrick immediately pushed back on the idea and refused to go along with it. Even after the storyline was reconsidered, there was still an attempt to keep a version where the two characters kissed at the end. Kendrick said no again. Her objections were enough that the romance never happened, leaving Baker's story to move forward without the relationship that had originally been planned. Taron Egerton thought he was about to film one of the most uncomfortable scenes of his career, and he wanted no part of it. While shooting Kingsman: The Golden Circle, Egerton faced a scene where Eggsy had to place a tracking device inside Clara's body during an intimate moment. The script description left him anxious, and when filming day arrived, he told director Matthew Vaughn he wasn't comfortable doing it himself. A solution was quickly found. Because the scene was being filmed from a POV angle, the hand seen on screen wasn't Egerton's at all. Instead, it belonged to Poppy Delavigne's husband, who stepped in and filmed the shot. Sean Connery played James Bond, but even 007 had limits. While filming Thunderball, Connery was asked to enter a pool filled with live sharks for a dangerous underwater sequence. Before agreeing, he insisted on safety measures, including a plexiglass barrier between himself and the animals. But during filming, there wasn't enough plexiglass to fully separate the sharks from the cast. When the sharks were able to get through, Connery wasted no time getting out of the water. After making his escape, he refused to get back into the pool, bringing the filming of the scene to an abrupt stop. Lindsay Lohan was supposed to kiss Charlie Sheen multiple times in Scary Movie 5, but she refused to do it. The planned bedroom scene originally called for 3 kisses between the two actors. Even though both stars had signed releases stating they did not have cold sores, Lohan reportedly remained uncomfortable and would not lock lips with Sheen. Filmmakers attempted to solve the problem with a body double, but that didn't fully work out. Instead, most of the kissing was removed from the scene altogether. The movie still moved forward, but the original version of the scene never made it to the screen. Alan Rickman looked at the script for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, and decided he wasn't going to perform his role exactly as written. Cast as the Sheriff of Nottingham, Rickman felt the character needed something more. Instead of simply accepting the dialogue he was given, he secretly worked with comedian Ruby Wax and playwright Peter Barnes to rewrite and improve certain scenes. The trio met in a Pizza Express restaurant and developed new material, including a memorable moment involving the sheriff inviting 2 women to his bedroom. Director Kevin Reynolds approved the additions, and the rewritten scenes became part of Rickman's standout performance. Jessica Alba was willing to film underwater scenes for Into the Blue, but one request crossed the line. During production, filmmakers wanted extra realism for a shark sequence and asked Alba to swim near a live tiger shark that was being held behind a cage. Even with the barrier in place, Alba wasn't comfortable taking the risk. Concerned for her safety, she pushed back against the idea and ultimately refused to film the scene with a real shark in the water nearby. Rather than continue with the setup, Alba chose to head back to shore instead. Gal Gadot became the center of a behind-the-scenes controversy over a scene that reportedly never sat right with her. During the extensive reshoots for Justice League, director Joss Whedon wanted to include a moment where the Flash falls onto Wonder Woman in what was intended to be a comedic scene. According to online rumors mentioned in the article, Gadot refused to film the sequence because she felt it unnecessarily sexualized her character and didn't fit the movie's tone. The same rumors claimed that a stunt double was used instead. Glenn Close refused to let her character fall apart under pressure. In Air Force One, Close played Vice President Catherine Bennett as she managed the response to a terrorist hijacking involving the president's plane. At one point, the script called for Bennett to break down and cry because of the overwhelming crisis. Close strongly disagreed with that direction. She believed the vice president should remain strong and rise to the challenge rather than collapse emotionally. Instead of filming the scene as written, she pushed back against the idea and made it clear she would not perform it. The character remained the determined leader Close envisioned. Jim Caviezel had a reputation in Hollywood for refusing certain scenes, even when it meant changing how a movie was filmed. While working on Angel Eyes, Caviezel would not film a love scene with Jennifer Lopez unless she remained clothed. He took a similar stance during The Count of Monte Cristo, refusing to film a sex scene with co-star Dagmara Dominček unless there was a barrier between them. To make the scene work, Dominček reportedly created makeshift pasties from flesh-colored underwear. Caviezel explained that his decisions were rooted in his commitment to his wife and his Catholic faith. Mike Myers was willing to walk away from Wayne's World over a single song. One of the movie's most famous scenes features Wayne, Garth, and their friends singing and headbanging in a car to Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody. But that scene almost used a Guns N' Roses song instead. Myers strongly disagreed with the idea and refused to film the sequence unless it featured Bohemian Rhapsody. He even threatened to leave the project if the change wasn't made. Despite it being his first movie, Myers got his way, and the scene was filmed exactly as he wanted, becoming one of the film's most memorable moments. He and McKellen nearly reached a breaking point while filming The Hobbit. After returning to play Gandalf, he found himself acting in a way he deeply disliked. Unlike The Lord of the Rings, which used forced perspective to place actors together, The Hobbit relied heavily on green screen technology. That left McKellen performing alone instead of interacting with fellow cast members. The experience became so discouraging that he nearly considered giving up acting altogether. Recognizing how unhappy he was, director Peter Jackson stepped in and organized an impromptu Gandalf Appreciation Day. The gesture helped lift McKellen's spirits and convinced him to keep going. Amber Heard's refusal to film a nude scene didn't just change a movie, it reportedly led to a $10 million lawsuit. While starring as Nicholas Six in London Fields, Heard declined to perform topless scenes that producers claimed were part of the project from the beginning. According to the lawsuit, the film contained nude scenes that producers believed Heard knew about before filming. After she refused, they alleged that important parts of the script had to be removed or rewritten. The dispute grew even larger when producers claimed her actions affected the film's promotion, ultimately leading the production company to sue her for millions of dollars. Rebel Wilson had a rule in her contract, and not even Sacha Baron Cohen could change it. While filming The Brothers Grimsby, Wilson was asked to take part in a scene that called for full frontal nudity. Even though a body double had already been hired for the shot, Cohen reportedly kept encouraging Wilson to do the scene herself. Wilson refused. She had a long-standing policy against appearing nude on screen and stood by it despite the pressure. No matter how many times the idea was raised, Wilson didn't budge, and the body double ended up handling the scene instead. Wesley Snipes was the star of Blade Trinity, but according to a cast member, he was barely on set for much of the movie. Patton Oswalt claimed that Snipes stayed in his trailer most of the time and only appeared to film close-up shots. For many other scenes, a stand-in reportedly took his place. Oswalt even said he only filmed one scene with Snipes directly. The situation became so unusual that after a disagreement with writer-director David Goyer, Snipes allegedly stopped speaking to him face-to-face and communicated through post-it notes instead, signing each one with the same name, from Blade. Michelle Rodriguez was prepared to walk away from The Fast and the Furious over a storyline she completely disagreed with. Early plans for the movie included a love triangle where Letty Ortiz would cheat on Dominic Toretto with Brian O'Connor. Rodriguez believed the idea didn't fit the character and argued that audiences wouldn't find it believable. Rather than film the scenes, she confronted the filmmakers and demanded that the storyline be removed. She even threatened to quit the project if the changes weren't made. With support from Vin Diesel, the love triangle was scrapped, and Letty's relationship with Dom remained intact. Richard Kiel was willing to play one of James Bond's most unforgettable villains, but he almost walked away over a romance subplot. After Jaws became popular enough to survive The Spy Who Loved Me, the character returned in Moonraker and was given a love interest. However, that relationship nearly looked very different. An early version of the script paired Jaws with a giant woman who was supposed to be even taller than the towering character himself. Kiel strongly opposed the idea and threatened to quit the production. He believed the concept wouldn't work, and the plan was ultimately changed, leading to Jaws being paired with Dolly instead. Kirk Cameron had one condition while filming Fireproof. He would not kiss his co-star. The faith-based drama included a romantic moment, but Cameron's commitment to his marriage meant he refused to perform the scene as written. Instead of removing it entirely, the filmmakers found a creative solution. Using low lighting, tight camera angles, and silhouette shots, they filmed the moment with someone else standing in for the female lead. That person was Cameron's real-life wife, Chelsea Noble, dressed in the character's costume. The finished scene remained in the movie, but the kiss audiences saw was actually between husband and wife. Kane Hodder played one of horror's most ruthless killers, but there was one victim he absolutely refused to hurt. While filming Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan, the script called for Jason Voorhees to kick a helpless dog after arriving in New York City. Hodder immediately rejected the idea. Despite portraying a character known for a massive body count, he told the director that even Jason wouldn't be cruel enough to harm an animal. The objection was strong enough that the filmmakers changed the script entirely, removing the scene and leaving the dog unharmed in the finished movie.